Hello, everybody. Are you ready for a cool gambit? Then I got something for you. It's called the Englund gambit and it starts with d4, e5. I played this a lot when I was younger, actually, and I had some real success with this, but mainly in shorter games like Rapid, Blitz, or Bullet. So I wouldn't recommend you to play this in longer games. But it's really fun, and there's a lot of different traps that one can fall into. Let's put on this statistics here for the opening. White normally takes here, and if it doesn't, you can just take with black in your next move, and you create a pretty open and equal game, and you're happy about it. So after d takes e5, you want to attack it with your knight. Normal move here, you see is white. We're gonna look at this. Knight f3. Most people play this. You develop a knight, and you're also guarding your e pawn, which is normal. Okay, now for the cool variations. Queen e7 looks a bit strange, but it is attacking the e5 pawn, and we'll see what white wants to do. The most popular move here is bishop f4, and you see already here 57% of the time on leeches, black is actually winning after that. It is a good move for white still, but there is a lot of traps. So let's start with looking at that. You're gonna do queen b4, giving a check to the king, and you're also threatening the bishop, and you're also threatening to take on b2. So white is in a bit of trouble. Second most popular response is bishop c3. Then you can just take here. You don't know if white just missed this or if he knows about the game, because white can really come back from this by playing knight d5. Everything else is losing directly for white. And here are some different moves. The best thing is actually for white to just give this up, play queen e4, let him take back on e5, and it's a crazy game. It's pretty similar. You have some development. You lost a rook, but you're probably going to take this knight back, and it's very equal as you see in the statistics. So let's not go into that more than this. Okay, so we look at the most common move is bishop d2. Let me just show you the big trap here. If you place queen d2, it looks good, stops the check, and he is also protecting the bishop. Then black takes on b2, and maybe white thinks now, okay, I can put my queen here, it will have to exchange, I take with my knight, and I'm happy. No, you are not happy about this, because black has this fantastic trap, and I got this trap many times in chess games, mostly rapid games or blitz games, but I really a lot of times. So this is just losing a queen. No need to look more at that. We can see different things later in the same theme. Okay, so bishop d2, most common move. You still take here. And now the best move for white is knight c3. But let's look at this first. Bishop c3, threatening the queen, protecting the rook, looks good. We have the same idea for black. Bishop b4, pinning this bishop to the knight so he cannot take our queen. If white plays this, it's immediately losing. You take the bishop. If black takes back with the queen, which is actually 88% of the time they do, well, there's a checkmate. So thank you for that. And this trap I got in many times actually. So white has to take here, and you take the rook, and you are doing so good. You're a rook up, and you're gonna win this. So Let's have a look at knight c3 then. This is the main line here, which means that white has seen this before. And you tried the trap and you didn't work, white is better. But I would recommend bishop b4 here. If we go back, we see that the most winning move for black is knight b4, but it's actually not that good. If white finds knight d4, he threatens rook b1, and black is not doing so good. So I will do this, try to get into this variation. I've played it many times also, like this. Maybe he plays rook b3 and you go back to a5. Is You're a little worse off, but you got your pawn back, and it's playable for black still. But okay, so that was the line after. Let's go back here after the main response, bishop f4. Let's look at the other lines because there are some cool things here also. Knight c3 is the second most popular move, I would say, for black here. Best is just to take. It really changed right away, and then you're pretty happy. It's fairly even. White can also play knight d5 here, which is, you see, for this it's better for white. But then you take his knight on f3 and cannot take back with his e pawn, so you destroy a little bit of his pawn structure. And then actually best is just to fall back to d8. And then you can play c6 with a tempo, maybe d5, and get your pieces out. And it's fairly even. Actually, it's not as bad as it looks. Okay, so let's see what we got more. Bishop g5 is a pretty similar response to bishop f4. You still take the check here. Then white can play knight c3 because the bishop is not there. So take on b2. Oh, sorry, mouse slip. It goes back, and then it's the same variation as before. So it's about the similar. But let's look at this one because this is also pretty cool. Knight d5 is played 9%, but this is very interesting variation. I would recommend here. You see all these different responses. I would recommend black to sacrifice a pawn here. I play this, and I play this also in longer games with pretty good experience. Now, if white doesn't take the pawn on f6, instead it plays bishop f4, still this threat is very good once again. Really has to either give this away. You see here, bishop b to d2. It's just loses a piece. Still, it's the second most response. So white normally goes back with his bishop to d2. Oh, my mouse is not really working now. Okay, queen takes b2. And look at this now. This is the same ideas. Bishop c3, bishop b4, and we have the same. Now, the most popular response for white is bishop b3. Bishop b2, then we've seen it before. Bishop b3 is the most popular response here. And this, only 67% of the black players now spot the mate in one. 1/3 of all the players doesn't see his mate in one. This is the whole idea of this opening. But of course, now you've seen this video, you're not gonna miss it. So bishop f4 in this position is not so good for white. It's better to take. We take. Normally queen goes to d1 or b3. Our idea, let's have a look. Queen b3 is a lot. It's probably the best one, so let's look at that. We play d5. We want to develop this bishop to there or there and play long castling, and then really get some action for our pawn. Main line here is bishop g5. Uh, we can also exchange here if we want to get rid of our queen. We can play bishop d7. Uh, I think this is fairly good for black. You will have long castle. White cannot take here. It's not really good. Rook b8, and it takes. I played this also actually. This is I think it's better for black. We got some chances. We have the queen can go to different places. White hasn't developed that good. I would like this for black, even with two pawns down. I like this for black. So this is like a main basic tutorial for the Englund gambit. There's so many more variations to show, but just to get the grip of how this works, you can try it in your next rapid game or base game and see how it goes. All right, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye bye.